Have you ever noticed how certain interactions leave you feeling completely drained, as if your emotional and mental energy has been siphoned away? These experiences often stem from relationships with energy-draining individuals, people whose negativity, demands, or toxic behaviors weigh heavily on your well-being. Over time, these interactions can affect not only your emotional state, but also your physical health, leading to stress, anxiety, and fatigue. Recognizing and addressing these relationships is essential for maintaining a balanced, peaceful life. Fortunately, the ancient wisdom of Stoicism offers a roadmap for dealing with such challenges. Stoic philosophy emphasizes personal resilience, emotional regulation, and the ability to focus on what truly matters. By applying these principles, you can identify individuals who drain your energy and develop strategies to manage or avoid their impact. This video delves into the 8 types of people most likely to drain your energy. Through vivid descriptions of their behaviors and actionable Stoic-inspired advice, you'll learn how to navigate these relationships without compromising your inner peace. Whether it's a chronic complainer, an envious competitor, or an emotionally demanding friend, this guide will empower you to set boundaries, cultivate healthier connections, and preserve your emotional well-being. By the end, you'll be equipped with practical tools to protect your energy, maintain balance, and foster more fulfilling relationships. Why certain people drain your energy. Energy-draining individuals have a profound impact on our emotional and mental well-being, often in subtle ways that accumulate over time. They may present themselves as chronic complainers, manipulative critics, or relentless gossips, but their behavior shares a common thread. They shift an emotional burden onto others, leaving you feeling depleted. This dynamic can manifest in countless ways, from constant negativity that dampens your optimism to manipulative tactics that erode your confidence. Over time, these interactions can take a significant toll, creating a ripple effect that impacts your ability to focus, maintain inner peace, and engage meaningfully with the world. Stoicism provides a framework for navigating such relationships, emphasizing the importance of controlling what lies within our power, our reactions, and mindset. While we cannot always change or avoid these individuals, we can minimize their influence on our emotional state. Marcus Aurelius encapsulates this wisdom in Meditations when he writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This principle reminds us that our ability to preserve energy lies not in attempting to fix others, but in maintaining our own composure and perspective. Psychological research reinforces these insights, demonstrating that prolonged exposure to toxic relationships is linked to heightened stress, anxiety, and even physical exhaustion. The emotional labor of dealing with such individuals can disrupt sleep patterns, increase cortisol levels, and diminish overall resilience. However, when combined with Stoic teachings, these findings offer a clear path forward. By cultivating awareness, setting boundaries, and focusing on what we can control, we can protect our energy and foster greater emotional balance. Understanding why certain people drain your energy is the first step toward reclaiming your inner peace and fortifying your mental well-being. The chronic complainer. The chronic complainer is someone who seems perpetually dissatisfied with life, focusing on every inconvenience, misfortune, or perceived slight. Rather than seeking solutions or finding ways to improve their situation, they dwell on negativity, often amplifying their grievances in conversations. This constant focus on what's wrong can be emotionally exhausting for those around them. Over time, their negativity has a way of infiltrating your own mindset, making it difficult to maintain a positive outlook. Engaging with chronic complainers can leave you feeling burdened, frustrated, and drained, as their grievances overshadow any sense of hope or gratitude. From a Stoic perspective, dealing with chronic complainers requires reframing the situation and focusing on what lies within your control. Stoicism teaches that while you cannot dictate how others think or behave, you can manage your reactions and emotional boundaries. Epictetus captures this sentiment perfectly when he says, It's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. Applying this wisdom to chronic complainers means recognizing that their negativity doesn't have to influence your peace of mind. One effective approach is to gently redirect conversations toward constructive solutions. When someone begins to complain, try steering the dialogue toward potential ways to address their issue. This not only sets a positive tone, but also subtly encourages them to take ownership of their circumstances. For example, if someone is lamenting about a recurring problem, you might respond with, "I understand, that's frustrating. What do you think could help improve the situation?" This method acknowledges their feelings without indulging the cycle of negativity. If their complaints remain persistent and overwhelming, it's essential to set boundaries to protect your emotional energy. Limiting your exposure to such individuals, especially during emotionally vulnerable moments, can help preserve your well-being. Additionally, cultivating gratitude in your own life serves as an antidote to their pessimism. Reflecting on the positives in your day can help maintain balance and resilience, shielding your mindset from the influence of their negativity. Dealing with chronic complainers is challenging, but by applying Stoic principles and focusing on your own emotional boundaries, you can engage with them thoughtfully while safeguarding your peace of mind. Remember, you have the power to decide how much space their negativity occupies in your life. The manipulative critic. Manipulative critics are masters of subtlety, often cloaking their true intentions behind a facade of helpfulness or constructive feedback. On the surface, their comments may seem well-meaning, but beneath lies a deliberate attempt to undermine your confidence and self-assurance. These individuals rely on subtle jabs, unsolicited advice, or backhanded compliments that chip away at your sense of self over time. Their behavior can leave you second-guessing your decisions, doubting your capabilities, and feeling a constant need for validation. The slow erosion of self-esteem caused by manipulative critics makes them particularly challenging to confront. Stoicism offers a powerful lens through which to view and address manipulative criticism. Central to Stoic philosophy is the idea of discernment, distinguishing between what lies within your control and what does not. Seneca reminds us, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." This teaching underscores the importance of self-awareness and continuous growth. When dealing with manipulative critics, the first step is recognizing their behavior for what it is, an external distraction rather than a reflection of your worth. Their words, no matter how pointed, do not define you unless you allow them to. Setting boundaries is essential when confronting manipulative critics. Responding assertively to their comments signals that you value your autonomy and will not tolerate undermining behavior. For instance, if someone offers unwelcome advice that feels like a veiled insult, you might calmly reply, "I appreciate your perspective, but I'll make my own decision." Such a response is firm yet non-confrontational, asserting your independence without escalating the situation. Additionally, seeking feedback from trusted sources can provide clarity and validation when manipulative criticism leaves you uncertain. By turning to people who have your best interests at heart, you can differentiate between genuine constructive feedback and the manipulative tactics designed to destabilize you. This practice not only strengthens your confidence, but also reinforces your ability to evaluate criticism objectively. Stoic principles also encourage emotional detachment from others' opinions. Reflecting on their comments without internalizing them helps maintain your emotional equilibrium. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a step back and consider whether their words hold any constructive value. If they do not, let them pass as irrelevant noise. By applying these Stoic strategies, you can confront manipulative critics with poise and maintain your sense of self. Their attempts to control or diminish you lose their power when you refuse to let their words dictate your actions or worth. In the end, your confidence is fortified, not by their approval, but by your commitment to living authentically and on your own terms. The overly demanding friend. Friendships are built on a foundation of mutual support, trust, and understanding. But some friends push the boundaries of this balance. Overly demanding friends often monopolize your time, energy, and resources without offering the same in return. Their constant requests, whether for emotional support, favors, or attention, can leave you feeling drained, unappreciated, and even resentful. These relationships can become particularly challenging when the friend is unaware or unwilling to acknowledge how their behavior impacts you. The emotional toll of constantly being on call for someone else's needs can quickly lead to burnout. From a Stoic perspective, dealing with overly demanding friends requires a reassessment of priorities and a commitment to protecting your peace. Stoic philosophy encourages us to focus on what truly matters in life and to allocate our energy wisely. As Epictetus wisely teaches, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This principle applies not only to material possessions, but also to the emotional resources we expend in our relationships. By maintaining perspective and setting boundaries, we can preserve our energy for the relationships and pursuits that truly enrich our lives. One of the most effective ways to navigate an overly demanding friendship is to prioritize relationships that are balanced and mutually supportive. Reflect on the dynamics of your interactions. Are you giving more than you're receiving? If the answer is yes, it's essential to address the imbalance. This doesn't mean severing the relationship entirely, but rather communicating your boundaries clearly and kindly. For instance, if a friend consistently asks for help without considering your time or availability, you might say, "I care about you, but I'm feeling overwhelmed and need some space to recharge." This type of honest, compassionate communication helps set limits without jeopardizing the friendship. Learning to say no is another crucial skill in managing these dynamics. For many, turning down a friend's request can feel uncomfortable or even guilt-inducing. However, Stoicism reminds us that our primary responsibility is to maintain our inner peace and focus on what aligns with our values. By practicing the art of saying no gracefully, you can create boundaries that protect your time and energy. A simple yet effective response might be, "I'd love to help, but I have other priorities right now. Let's find another time to connect." Ultimately, an overly demanding friend's behavior doesn't have to dictate the quality of your relationship or your life. By applying Stoic principles of discernment, boundary setting, and prioritization, you can navigate these friendships with integrity and care. This approach ensures that your relationships remain a source of mutual support and joy, rather than stress and exhaustion, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. The envious competitor. Envious competitors can be some of the most challenging individuals to deal with in personal or professional relationships. These people often measure their success against yours, constantly comparing achievements, possessions, or recognition. While competition can be healthy in certain contexts, envious competitors twist it into something toxic, acting out of insecurity and resentment. Their behavior might manifest as passive-aggressive comments, subtle put-downs, or an inability to genuinely celebrate your successes. This constant tension can create an emotionally charged atmosphere, leaving you feeling stressed or drained after each interaction. Stoicism provides a powerful framework for addressing the challenges posed by envious competitors. Marcus Aurelius wisely reminds us to focus on our own growth rather than seeking external validation. When you understand that jealousy is rooted in the other person's insecurity rather than your actions, it becomes easier to detach emotionally from their behavior. Empathy, rather than retaliation, becomes the key to navigating these dynamics. Recognizing their struggles doesn't mean condoning their actions, but it allows you to protect your peace and avoid unnecessary conflict. To maintain harmony, consider keeping details of your achievements or plans private when dealing with someone prone to envy. While sharing successes with friends or colleagues can be a natural and rewarding experience, envious competitors may perceive such disclosures as threats, further fueling their resentment. By limiting discussions around sensitive topics, you reduce the opportunities for tension to arise. At the same time, Celebrating their accomplishments can help diffuse their feelings of inadequacy. A simple compliment or acknowledgement of their efforts might shift the dynamic and foster mutual respect. For example, if they share a personal win, respond with genuine encouragement like, "That's a great achievement. I'm really happy for you." This can neutralize feelings of competition and redirect the relationship toward a more positive foundation. Above all, it's essential to remind yourself that their envy is not a reflection of your actions, but rather of their internal struggles. By staying focused on your own path and growth, you reinforce the idea that you are not defined by others' opinions or comparisons. Instead of engaging in rivalry, you can take a step back and say to yourself, "We all have our unique journeys, and I'm content with where I'm headed." Dealing with envious competitors requires patience and perspective, but by applying Stoic principles, you can rise above their negativity. Maintaining emotional detachment and focusing on your own development ensures that their jealousy doesn't disrupt your peace of mind or hinder your progress. In the end, true success lies not in outshining others, but in remaining true to your values and priorities. The chronic victim. The chronic victim is someone who perpetually views themselves as powerless in the face of life's challenges. They frame every situation as an injustice against them, blaming others for their circumstances, while resisting any suggestion of personal responsibility. Conversations with chronic victims often revolve around their hardships, and rather than seeking solutions, they seem to dwell in their misfortune, relishing the sympathy and validation they receive from others. Over time, their persistent negativity and refusal to take action can become emotionally draining, leaving you feeling frustrated and helpless. Stoicism offers a balanced approach to dealing with chronic victims, rooted in the philosophy of personal agency and responsibility. While empathy is essential in any relationship, enabling a victimhood mindset can ultimately harm both parties. Seneca captures this balance beautifully with his wisdom. "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." This Stoic principle emphasizes that, while external circumstances may challenge us, it is our response, our preparation, actions, and mindset that shapes the outcome. When engaging with chronic victims, one effective strategy is to gently redirect their focus toward proactive thinking. Instead of merely listening to their grievances, encourage them to consider actionable steps they can take to improve their situation. For example, if they express frustration about a recurring problem, you might respond with, "I hear that this is really challenging. What do you think you can do to change it?" This approach shifts the narrative from passive suffering to active problem solving, empowering them to reclaim a sense of control. At the same time, it's important to set clear conversational boundaries to protect your own emotional energy. Chronic victims often use their relationships as outlets for venting, turning others into emotional dumping grounds. By gently but firmly steering conversations toward constructive topics, you can limit the emotional toll these interactions take on you. For example, if the conversation becomes overly negative, you might say, "I understand how hard this is, but let's talk about what's going well for you or how we can move forward." Focusing on growth-oriented discussions can also help break the cycle of victimhood. Rather than dwelling on what has gone wrong, guide them toward exploring opportunities for improvement or change. This not only protects your own peace, but also offers the other person a chance to see their situation from a new, more empowering perspective. Dealing with chronic victims can be challenging, but by applying Stoic principles, you can engage with compassion while maintaining your boundaries. Remember that their struggles are not yours to solve, and your role is not to carry their emotional weight, but to gently guide them toward self-reliance. By encouraging proactive thinking and steering conversations toward constructive outcomes, you can preserve your own emotional balance while offering them the tools to take ownership of their lives. Ultimately, true empowerment comes not from indulging their mindset, but from helping them recognize their own capacity for change. The gossip monger. The gossip monger is a master of stirring the pot, spreading rumors, and sowing discord within social circles. For these individuals, gossip is a tool for gaining attention, wielding influence, or simply filling the silence. While their behavior may seem harmless at first, gossip mongers often leave a trail of fractured trust and fractured relationships in their wake. They thrive on the intrigue of whispered secrets, but their actions come at a significant cost, not only to the people they talk about, but also to those who engage with them. Associating with gossip mongers can subtly erode your own integrity, as even passive participation in rumor spreading can reflect poorly on your character. Stoicism offers a clear and principled approach to dealing with gossip. Central to Stoic philosophy is the value of integrity and truthful communication. Epictetus emphasizes this in his teaching. Keep silence for the most part, and speak only when you must. This wisdom encourages us to prioritize meaningful, honest interactions over idle chatter. Gossip, by its very nature, detracts from meaningful discourse and often serves no constructive purpose. By choosing silence or redirecting conversations, we align ourselves with the Stoic commitment to truth and self-respect. One way to disengage from gossip is to politely but firmly decline to participate. For instance, if someone begins sharing rumors or speaking negatively about another person, you might respond with, "I'd rather not discuss others unless they're here." This approach sends a clear message that you value transparency and fairness, while also subtly discouraging the gossip monger from continuing. Such a response not only protects your integrity, but can also inspire others to adopt a more mindful approach to communication. Redirecting conversations to more meaningful topics is another effective strategy. If a gossip monger begins steering the discussion into negative territory, shift the focus to something constructive or neutral. For example, ask about a shared interest or bring up a positive story. This approach diffuses the negative energy of gossip while fostering a more uplifting and productive dialogue. Perhaps the most transformative action you can take is to surround yourself with people who value honesty and respect. By associating with individuals who prioritize integrity, you create an environment where gossip is less likely to flourish. These relationships not only strengthen your own commitment to living authentically, but also contribute to a more supportive and trusting social circle. The gossip monger's influence may seem pervasive, but their power lies in others' willingness to listen and engage. By choosing not to participate and adhering to Stoic principles of truthful communication, you can maintain your integrity and protect your peace of mind. Remember, the words you speak and the company you keep are reflections of your values. By aligning your actions with honesty and respect, you set a higher standard for yourself and those around you. The perfectionist demander. Perfectionist demanders are individuals who set the bar impossibly high, not only for themselves but for everyone around them. Their rigid expectations leave little room for human error or flexibility, and they often transfer this pressure onto others. Whether it's in a professional setting, a personal relationship, or a collaborative project, perfectionist demanders create an environment where nothing short of flawlessness seems acceptable. This relentless pursuit of perfection can quickly lead to stress, frustration, and feelings of inadequacy, as their expectations are often unachievable and leave no room for compromise. Stoicism offers a profound antidote to the unrealistic demands of perfectionism by encouraging us to embrace imperfection as a natural part of life. Marcus Aurelius captures this sentiment beautifully when he states, "Nothing happens to any man that he is not formed by nature to bear." This insight reminds us that striving for excellence is valuable, but expecting perfection in every circumstance is neither realistic nor necessary. By accepting imperfection in ourselves and others, we free ourselves from the undue stress and guilt that perfectionist demanders often impose. When dealing with a perfectionist demander, one of the most effective strategies is to set realistic expectations for your involvement. It's essential to clarify what you can reasonably accomplish and communicate these boundaries early in the process. For instance, if a perfectionist collaborator expects an unfeasible level of detail or speed, you might say, I'll do my best to deliver high-quality work, but it may not meet every expectation due to the time frame. This type of statement is both polite and assertive, ensuring that you manage their expectations without overcommitting. Clear communication is key when their demands become unachievable. Instead of allowing their pressure to overwhelm you, articulate the limitations of what is possible. This not only protects your mental well-being, but also establishes that perfectionism is not a realistic goal. For example, if they express dissatisfaction despite your efforts, calmly explain the practical constraints. Given the resources and time available, this is the best outcome we can achieve. By framing the conversation around practicality, you redirect their focus from unrealistic ideals to attainable results. Practicing self-compassion is equally important in these situations. Perfectionist demanders often leave others feeling as though they've fallen short, even when their efforts were substantial. Rejecting undue guilt requires reminding yourself that perfection is not a prerequisite for value or success. Acknowledge your efforts and contributions, even if they don't align with someone else's unattainable standards. By recognizing the worth of what you've accomplished, you counter the negative self-talk that perfectionism can provoke. Ultimately, dealing with a perfectionist demander involves striking a balance between empathy and self-preservation. While it's natural to want to meet expectations, it's equally important to protect your own mental and emotional well-being. By applying Stoic principles of acceptance, clear communication, and self-compassion, you can navigate these relationships with grace and resilience. Remember, perfection is an illusion, and true progress comes from embracing the imperfections that make us human. The energy vampire. Energy vampires are individuals who seem to draw from your emotional reserves without ever replenishing them. Whether through constant drama, excessive neediness, or relentless negativity, they leave you feeling emotionally and physically drained after every interaction. These individuals thrive on the attention and emotional energy they extract from others, often making their problems, feelings, or crises the center of every conversation. Over time, repeated exposure to their behaviors can lead to exhaustion, frustration, and even resentment, especially when their demands seem unending or disproportionate. Stoicism offers a vital perspective on managing energy vampires, emphasizing the importance of self-preservation and emotional equilibrium. Seneca wisely counsels us to focus on relationships that uplift and enrich our lives, rather than those that drain and burden us. He reminds us that we have the power to choose where we invest our time and energy. Recognizing that our emotional resources are finite, Stoicism encourages us to prioritize connections that contribute to our well-being rather than deplete it. To navigate relationships with energy vampires effectively, it's crucial to set boundaries that protect your emotional health. Limiting the time you spend with these individuals is often a necessary first step. This doesn't mean cutting them off entirely, especially if they are people you care about, but rather managing how and when you interact to minimize their impact. For example, if an energy vampire frequently monopolizes conversations with complaints or drama, you might schedule shorter, more structured interactions that give you greater control over the dynamic. At the same time, focus on nurturing relationships that are mutually supportive and positive. Surrounding yourself with people who inspire, uplift, and energize you creates a buffer against the draining effects of more demanding individuals. These healthy connections provide a source of emotional replenishment and remind you of the joy that relationships can bring when they are built on reciprocity and care. Practicing emotional detachment is another essential strategy for managing energy vampires. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring, but rather maintaining a sense of internal balance, even when their behavior is challenging. Instead of absorbing their negativity or feeling obligated to solve their problems, remind yourself that their emotions and struggles are their own to manage. A graceful way to disengage might be to say, "I value our connection, but I need some time to recharge." This acknowledges their importance while reinforcing your boundaries. Ultimately, dealing with energy vampires requires a combination of self-awareness and self-preservation. By recognizing their patterns, setting limits, and prioritizing healthier relationships, you can protect your emotional well-being without sacrificing compassion. Stoic philosophy reminds us that our energy is a precious resource, and by managing it wisely, we can maintain our peace, focus, and ability to thrive. In choosing to invest your energy where it is appreciated and reciprocated, you create a more balanced and fulfilling emotional life. Applying Stoic principles to protect your energy. Stoicism offers a timeless and practical framework for managing the complexities of relationships, particularly when faced with individuals who drain your energy. At its core, Stoicism emphasizes personal agency, the ability to control your responses, maintain inner peace, and focus on what truly matters. Toxic relationships, while challenging, present an opportunity to practice these principles, turning potential sources of distress into occasions for growth and self-discovery. One of the foundational tenets of Stoicism is the idea that we cannot control others' behavior, only our reactions to it. This perspective liberates us from the futile effort of trying to change toxic individuals, and instead encourages us to focus on maintaining our own equilibrium. When faced with a difficult interaction, ask yourself, what lies within my power? Often, the answer is your attitude, response, and the boundaries you set. By shifting your focus inward, you reclaim control over how you engage with and are affected by others. Mindfulness is another essential practice within the Stoic toolkit. Staying present and grounded during interactions with challenging individuals helps prevent emotional overreactions. When someone's negativity or demands begin to weigh on you, pause and take a moment to breathe. This moment of awareness creates a buffer between their behavior and your response, allowing you to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Mindfulness is not about ignoring the problem, but about approaching it with clarity and calmness. Setting clear boundaries is crucial when dealing with toxic relationships. These boundaries serve as a safeguard for your emotional well-being, helping you define what is acceptable and communicate your limits respectfully. For example, if someone consistently oversteps, a firm yet kind statement like, "I can't commit to this right now, but I appreciate you understanding," reinforces your priorities without escalating the situation. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out, but bridges to healthier, more respectful interactions. A profound aspect of Stoicism is its embrace of impermanence, which acknowledges that relationships, like all aspects of life, are subject to change. This acceptance can be freeing when dealing with toxic individuals. Not all relationships are meant to last forever, and recognizing when to let go is an act of wisdom, not failure. By releasing attachments to relationships that no longer serve you, you make room for connections that align with your values and contribute positively to your life. Finally, cultivating inner strength is the cornerstone of Stoic practice. Building resilience through daily reflection, meditation, or journaling equips you to face challenges with composure. Stoicism teaches that adversity, including difficult relationships, is an opportunity to develop character and fortify your inner resources. As Marcus Aurelius writes, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By integrating these Stoic principles, controlling your reactions, practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, accepting impermanence, and cultivating inner strength, you create a powerful strategy for navigating toxic relationships. These tools not only protect your energy, but also empower you to lead a life rooted in peace, purpose, and self-respect. The wisdom of Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot eliminate every source of negativity, we can choose how we respond, ensuring that our energy is directed toward what truly matters. Conclusion: the ability to recognize and manage energy-draining individuals is a vital skill for safeguarding your emotional well-being and cultivating healthier, more fulfilling relationships. These interactions, while often challenging, present an opportunity to grow in self-awareness and practice the principles of Stoicism. By identifying the behaviors that drain your energy and understanding the underlying dynamics, you can approach these relationships with clarity and purpose. Whether it's setting firm boundaries, practicing emotional detachment, or embracing the impermanence of certain connections, Stoicism equips you with practical tools to protect your peace and focus on what truly matters. Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we cannot control the actions or attitudes of others, we can control how we respond to them. This shift in perspective is empowering, allowing you to reclaim your energy and direct it toward relationships and pursuits that enrich your life. By prioritizing meaningful connections, practicing mindfulness, and cultivating resilience, you not only protect yourself from unnecessary stress, but also foster an environment where positive, reciprocal relationships can thrive. Take control of your relationships today by applying these timeless lessons. Start setting boundaries, steering clear of energy-draining behaviors, and investing in connections that bring mutual joy and support. As you do, you'll find yourself more balanced, energized, and able to focus on the relationships and goals that truly matter. If you found value in this video, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with others who might benefit from these insights. We'd love to hear about your experiences in managing energy-draining people and how Stoicism has helped you navigate these challenges. Join the conversation in the comments below and let us know your thoughts. And if you're eager to dive deeper into Stoicism and personal growth, subscribe for more content designed to help you lead a life of wisdom, peace, and purpose. Together, we can continue to explore practical strategies for living more intentionally and creating a life aligned with your values.